Hello everybody and welcome to Diablo 3. I'm just kidding, Diablo 3 was awful! Welcome to your indie snapshot of Path of Exile, the game that Diablo 3 should have been. Some of you may already, or hopefully a lot of you already know what Path of Exile is. It is a game that has been in development for 7 years by Grinding Gears Games. It is exactly what Diablo 3 should have been. It is your action RPG, an isometric standard kind of camera angle that controls exactly like you would expect it to control. It does so many things right, with a few things that I have complaints about, and is 100% free to play. You can get this on Steam right now. It just officially released its 1.0 version, its fully released version, and is a ton of fun. So we're going to play a little bit, I'm going to show you some of it, some of the significant changes that you need to know about the game, talk about some of the features that you as general consumers are going to want to know when going into it, and then we'll wrap it up with some thoughts. So, as always, you have a bunch of classes. If you want to create a class, you can go ahead and click create. These are all your classes. Now, you can't change the way they look, unfortunately, which is actually kind of unfortunate. I really wish it was. But you have your Templar, your Marauder, your Shadow, which is your roguelike character. Your Templar is like your Paladin character. Marauder is just like your Berserker or Barbarian. We have a Ranger, which is your Ranger character, a Duelist, which is a melee specialist, a bit kind of, little bit less like a rogue, obviously, it's a lot less sneaking, more kind of dexterity and flourishing, and then you have your Witch, which is your all-purpose mage. You can do Elemental, you can do Necromancy, etc., etc. So we're going to go ahead out of here, we're going to load up my level 9 Witch here. I haven't played too much, this is about 2.5 hours of gameplay, level 9, and we'll hit play. Now, one of the important things that I immediately want to mention right off the bat is the way hardcore mode works. Like, if you remember Diablo 3, there was a hardcore mode that was pretty self-explanatory. It was a lot harder, but you got a lot more rare loot that was kind of linked with that, and if you died, your character was deleted forever. You lost everything. You couldn't play that character anymore. So that mode kind of exists here. It is called, there are two different types. It's called Hardcore mode, which is the same, and then there's Nemesis mode, which is a much harder version of Hardcore, which is what I play in. Nemesis mode is Hardcore mode, except rare mobs also get an extra feature added to them. So they either do more fire damage, they're immune to a certain type of spell, etc., etc., and the loot is better. Now, unlike Diablo, where you lose your character upon death, if you lose your character in Hardcore mode or Nemesis mode and Path of Exile, you get shunted down to Standard League, they call it. It's like Standard League, Hardcore League, Nemesis League, etc. So if I die now, I am no longer in Nemesis League, I'm now in Standard League, so all the enemies are your standard difficulty with standard loot being drops, which is essentially the same as being killed forever if you're all about that. I really like that because, say I get to like max level and I have all this rare loot and I, still want to jump on and feel powerful, I can still jump on my character in Standard League and play him on Standard League if I so choose. But for the most part, most people are going to, treat it as a death, as I know I will for the most part, because that's kind of how I play those games. So this is my Witch. So first, let's get into a area where we're going to grab a quest.
There's a fine line
Brutus, he might as well cross that line. Brutus is a big lad, da-da-da-da-da. Light your candle and memory, blah. Alright, so we are in Act 1. There are 5 acts to the story, and we are going to head off to an area and just start playing. So if we hit U, we'll take a look at the map. We have two quests that lead us all around, and we need to get to the ledge. Now, I don't know if I can actually get to the ledge from here. Nope, I have to... In order to teleport around, there's these waypoints, and you have to find the waypoint on the map before you can use it. So I need to go back to the submerged passage and get to the ledge from there. They're all interconnected. Now, a lot like Diablo and, all games like that, so Torchlight, the levels are randomly generated as you launch into them. So we're going to be here in this area, and having randomly generated, I have to go through all this again. It's alright. So, as you can see, I have a flourish of abilities. Now, I'm focusing on zombies, so I have the ability to do zombies, and this is already a different kind of approach to spells than most games like this are concerned. So, in most games, your class dictates your spells, right? As you level up, you gain spells and so on, but not the case in this game. Your spells come from crystals. They come from socketed gems. So, instead of gems giving you passive upgrades, they give you spells. So... I have right now a Fireball spell equipped. I have a Freezing Pulse spell equipped. I have my Raise Zombie spell, and I have my Firestorm spell. And the more I use them, the higher they level. And in order for them to level, I have to meet certain requirements. So in order to reach, the next level of, let's say, Fireball, I potentially need certain requirements. So for me, as you can see at the bottom, it says requires level 8 and 25 intelligence in order for it to level up. As it levels up, it gains, certain things. So zombies, can take more damage. Fireball does more damage. On the flip side, it also costs more mana, so your typical leveling up. So that'll leave you with the question, well, Mathis, if you're leveling up gems to level up your abilities, is there a talent system? And the answer is yes. The talent system is all passive talents. All passive. And it's fucking-gantic. So if we go into the passive talent system over here, here's my talent tree. I started here as the witch, and I kind of go out into these areas, and I gain things. So, for instance, I went up this way first. I gained extra mana regen with extra maximum mana. That's kind of the tree I went up. And then I went and grabbed Lord of the Dead, which gives me more zombies and skeletons that I can raise, as well as more minion life and more minion damage. And now I'm going out this way, and kind of going out this path in order to head down there. Now, we're going to zoom out, and you're going to see the extent of this talent tree. I think there's 1,300 talents, passive talents that you can choose, and they're everywhere. Now, this is not, locked down to just the witch. This is every class has this talent tree. The difference is the class determines where on the talent tree you start. So, as a witch, I started up here, and generally in this area, the northern area of the talent tree, I'm going to have a lot of intelligence-based talents to choose from. While if I was to come down here and pick, for instance, the duelist, I believe is right over here. I think this is the duelist. They start in the dexterity area of the tree, while the marauder would be in the strength area of the tree. And then you have the people who are kind of in the middle starting over here, and they have their own branching paths. I can, of course, head down this way and eventually unlock all of their talents. I think I got a maximum of 120 skill points, so if I really want to beeline it to these areas, I can. But allowing you this flexibility really allows you to be kind of your own class, your own version. So for me, I'm focusing on summoning, so I'm making sure I'm gunning for a lot of the summoning spells. There's elemental trees I can go up and be better elemental spells, etc., and that's how it works. And that's, again, the flexibility is a lot of fun. So we're going to play a little bit. I have, right now, my spells launched over here, so I have my regular attack, I have my fireball, my middle mouse button, I have Raise Zombie as my right click, I have Q for a freezing pulse, and W for my firestorm. And because I have such good mana talents, I actually very rarely run out of mana, and I have my zombies kind of just there to tank damage for me. So this is going to lead us to the mud flats. I don't want to go to the mud flats. I want to go to something called the ledge. So we're looking for the exit to the ledge, as well as killing monsters all along the way. And it's your typical, controlling scheme. You click on enemies to attack. You click on enemies, click on the floor to move. Down here, I have QWERT to use my spells that are not my mouse. It's very, very intuitive. It feels really good. The UI looks really good. Another difference you're gonna notice when you start playing is that potions don't work the way that that they do in Diablo and other games. They're actually recharged. So I have types of flasks, and those flasks recharge as I attack enemies. And different types of flasks produce different type of bonuses. So I never will ever have to buy potions. I'll always have potions on me that'll always be recharging as I play the game. So I could just, use them as I need them. Now, we're in an area that I can handle pretty well, so I'm not going to be taking a lot of damage, and I doubt I'll be needing to raise a lot more zombies. I'm a little bit over-leveled for this area. I should be in the ledge right now, but I ended up not finding the waypoint before I quit, which is fine. We can go through here. One of the complaints a small complaint about the game, is that combat lacks the oomph that, Torchlight had. Torchlight, one of my favorite things about Torchlight, is that everything felt like it had massive impact. Everything felt really, really good. And this game kind of lacks that. Everything, obviously, you can tell when something's hitting and when something's missing, but generally speaking, it lacks that massive power behind every ability. Again, not a huge complaint, but something that I noticed. It's just one of my personal pet peeves. Otherwise, the game is... one of my smaller complaints of the game is definitely kind of grimy looking. The art style is very kind of dreary, which is obviously done on purpose. And since it's an indie game as well, you're not looking at, huge budget on graphics. But everything, but that being said, outside of the grungy kind of atmosphere it presents, everything looks good. The tile sets are varied enough. You're looking at levels that always look different, which is nice. The upper, let's see how we're going to go this way. Everything looks really good as you play. Everything sounds really good as you play. So I can't really complain about that. Just those two niggling little things kind of do hinder some of the fun that I have, but that's a personal thing. And if you're like me, then it's going to affect you and how you enjoy the game. But generally speaking, it's not that big a deal. We're going to talk about the microtransactions here once we get out of this caves. I just want to play a little bit here and show off. So we need to make sure we're raising zombies. One of the things that I learned, thanks to some of the people that were watching me stream this game earlier, is that you need a body in order to raise a zombie. So if I cast ice spells and the body shatters, I can't raise a zombie from it. So that's really important. Loot does have varying colors with varying degrees of, varying degrees of rarity and varying statistics that are added onto it. Kind of randomized loot as you would expect. It's not that Diablo 3 style of you need to build your loot, because there's no real money auction house. And the microtransactions are done phenomenally well, so they're not looking to suck your money out for loot. What they're doing is doing Guild Wars 2 style, which we'll show off here in a little bit. We're going to raise up some new zombies just to make sure they're all at full health. Alright, we'll head out this way. So I wish since this is all randomly generated, I don't recognize anything. I don't know where I am. I kind of have to explore the areas all over again, which is fine. That's not a big deal. We'll fire off some fireballs. Fireballs do nice AoE attacks, nice AoE damage, though I do like Firestorm a lot better. Okay, good. We got some rare stuff that we could take a look here, and I can show you a little bit about the loot once we pop it open. Alright. Let's just kill off these guys. We're just trying to kill off basically any threat so I can actually go over the loot with you guys so you understand exactly how it works. Come on, just die, will you? Jesus. Alright. So, we'll pop up in the inventory here. So here's the loot system. Not a lot of space in your loot, and that's not a huge deal. Really, the Brood Princess is going to be a problem now. We'll just fire some fire stuff at her. Again, keep her killed off from a distance. Alright. Really? We'll just raise some more zombies. Oh. And we're taking a small amount of damage because there's like a few brood things that spawned out of her. She died. Alright. So, as you can imagine, there's the regular white, essentially, brand loot, which is kind of trash loot that you can sell off pretty easily. Even, I think there's gray loot as well. Then there's your purple loot, which is, stuff that's going to have a decent bonus, which is right here. Now, most of this loot comes unidentified. In order to identify it, you need to use a scroll of wisdom, and you right-click on it and identify it. So, is there any really good loot stuff in here that I can kind of... Let's just restack some of this stuff. Nope. So, purple's going to be the first brand of rarity, essentially. We don't really have any room for it. Let's get rid of the corroded blade. The long sword is unidentified. Okay, and then there's this yellowish-orange color, which is really good. They're typically rare items that will give you some sort of special thing. For instance, we have our purple stuff, if I have a purple thing on me. That just gives you bonuses, like 10% chance of bonus, 10% spell damage, and 5% cast speed. Really nice, but nothing really special. And then you have stuff like the yellow, like rare stuff, that gives you a bunch of bonuses, so like 9% intelligence, 10% to evasion rating, 13% evasion rating and energy shield, 60% maximum mana, and 7% increased block and stun recovery. That's really good. So if you want to go through your inventory and make sure you have all that stuff identified first. So we have Scroll of Wisdom. We'll use it on this, and it gives us all the bonuses it gives. So this is really good to sell off. And then finally, you have your orange items, your epic stuff. I was really lucky, and I got an orange item that dropped at low level. Apparently that's really rare, as I was reading and people were saying. And then that's like stuff that can be game-changing. It can change a whole lot of stuff. For instance, this changes, for me, these orange wraps. What they do is gives me 30% increased attack speed when I have full life, adds 1 to 13 lightning damage, gives me 52 accuracy rating, meaning I won't miss as often, and when I'm at low life, I get a 20% movement increase so I can run faster. That's really, really good stuff right there. All items are also going to have sockets, because you kind of need sockets in order to, get leveled up, except for a couple of items that might not, like rings and belts. But in order to, your sockets are all going to have it, and it's going to have 3 types: red, green, blue. Red is strength, green is dexterity, blue is intelligence. If you get an item that has an awesome ability, but doesn't have the right color socket for you, blue socket being intelligence-based stuff, you can change it with a, where is it? I think it's called a prismatic orb. Yes, it's called a prismatic orb. I don't have any right now. Chromatic orb is what it's called. And what you do is you use one, and it will randomly change it to one of the other two types. So you can't guarantee what kind of socket you're going to get, but you can get them. You can change it. Now, there is no gold in this game. You might notice there's no gold dropping from any enemies. Currency is kind of different in this game. It's actually done, it's more of a bartering system, and we're going to talk about that when we head back to town after we get out of this area. So, yeah, that's the general basis of how the loot works. Now, I do like how the loot works. The inventory space is kind of limited, but it does a Guild Wars 2 style where if I really, really cared, and I really don't all that much, about inventory space, I can buy, inventory space for a small amount of money. I can buy, more tabs of inventory if that's what I want really badly. And that luxury is what the microtransactions are for. The microtransactions are generally luxury and just augmenting the aesthetic of spells and maybe buying a little pet to follow you around and stuff. Nothing that changes gameplay. There is zero pay-to-win stuff in Path of Exile. Which is really good. I kind of applaud them for that because this game could easily fall into that trap of, I could buy better gear or I could buy better gems, and then you're kind of turning into Diablo 3 in that respect. And they kind of had to, they were walking on very fine line as far as that's concerned. If they did end up doing that, there'd be no reason to play this game over Diablo 3. I mean, you're trading in essentially a real money auction house for microtransactions. You're essentially, if you really still want to be good at the game, you're going to have to spend real money one way or another. You either do it Diablo's 3 way, where you pay money to other players, or you do it Path of Exile's way, where you would have to pay the developers the real money. Now, luckily, they knew that, and I think they knew that kind of going into this game, especially with the last couple years, knowing how Diablo 3 was turning out. This is the ledge, awesome. With Diablo 3 was turning out, they knew they had to kind of balance that out. They had to be very careful as far as that was concerned. And luckily, they didn't they kind of played it well. They did a very, very good job. And I really hope, this is one of those games that essentially, wow, there's a lot of skeletons over here. This is one of those games that, I'm okay with spending a little bit of real money just to support them. It was very similar to League of Legends. I was very into League of Legends. There was I felt no need to not spend money because I felt like they deserve the money that I gave them. Same thing with Guild Wars 2. More so with Guild Wars 2 than anything because you were getting such a complete package for free that there was really no need to not spend money and support them. Otherwise, they're not going to make any money and they deserve it. So very, very cool. And I like how they did it. So we have a quest right now. If we're going to take as soon as we kill off some of these skeletons, once they're all dead, we can just start raining some fire over there if they're just going to keep walking. Alright, so we're good. And some of the spell effects too, I mean, this is probably going to be something that might grate a few people, are very, I don't want to say old school. Chromatic Orb, awesome. I wouldn't say they're old school, but they're definitely nothing spectacular. Portal Scroll is awesome. They're definitely nothing spectacular, but they look good. I mean, it definitely looks, a little bit more old school. Nothing amazing. Couple cannibals. Great, there's some cannibals we're going to have to deal with. What is this? A grinning totem. I'm just not going to go near it. I have no idea what a grinning totem is. I've never run across that enemy yet. Cannibals I've run across. And we haven't really run across a special enemy yet. I'm looking forward to showing you the Nemesis mod, or that they throw on special enemies. Let's see. So usually it's a shield of some type. It just makes the game much more difficult, much more challenging. Rattling Bones. I'm looking forward to getting the spell where I can, do some Rattling Bones. Because I'm looking forward to getting rid of maybe some of this, I don't really use the ice ability anymore because I kind of need the corpses to do something with them. Raise them for zombies, have them for cannon fodder later. So using ice, I'd rather not risk shattering them, so I kind of want to get rid of it. Waypoint. Okay, let's head back to town so I can show you guys a couple of things. So we'll go here to Lion's Eye Watch, and we will go and start trading some stuff. So, welcome. We can sell some items, and we'll get rid of the stuff we do not want. So this longsword, I need a strength of 20 and a 17 dex. I will never, ever use that. So what I can get rid of it for, I trade it, and he will give me shards of things for it. So he'll give me an alteration shard. And 20 alteration shards will become an orb of alteration, which will give me, it will enchant a magic item with a new random property. It gives me random enchantments, which is nice. It's useful. We're going to get rid of this driftwood one because it's awful. And typically, higher end items will give me like shards for orbs, so stuff that requires like 20 shards that's what they'll give me for higher end items. Lower end items will give me scroll fragments. 5 scroll fragments gives me a scroll of wisdom, which allows me to identify items. And that's kind of how the whole shebang works as far as the trading is concerned. We'll get rid of this. So we're going to get 2 shards out of this, but we don't have any more fragments to combine it with right now. So we're just going to trade this for now. We'll accept and we'll trade that. We'll get rid of it. We're going to now sell items again, and what we can do is we can get rid of these, and like we can sell off this an orb. We don't want to get rid of an orb. But we can sell off full-on orbs for scrolls of wisdom, which is good, in case you didn't know that. But I kind of want to hang on to it. We can get rid of this coral ring. This is useless to me. I didn't even notice we had that there. Upgrade a normal item to a rare item. That actually, I'm going to use the orbs of alchemy. So transmutation shards. This will give me... He'll give me a full scroll of wisdom for him. So we'll go ahead and make that trade. We can get rid of some alchemy shards. He'll also give me some more fragments. So I can get rid of other shards of stuff for scrolls of wisdom. And scrolls of wisdom are really important because identifying unidentified items is going to be pretty important, you know, to you to make some better selling stuff. I'm going to keep my alteration shards. We're going to sell that. Now we're going to go in and we're going to take a look and identify something and just get rid of it. Anything special? No. Let's get rid of... Let's see what we get out of this. We could sell this off. Let's see what he'll give me for it. He'll give me a scroll fragment for it. Rye only 1 scroll fragment. Maybe it's because it's not that good. But, okay, so we got a scroll of wisdom out of it, which we can then use to identify, I guess, this shield. We can sell off the shield now. I think you can kind of sell these things all off for, you know, shittier things. So if you can't really get, you know, anything, you know, as far as... If you can't get anything identified, you might as well sell it off if you don't plan on using it. So we'll go ahead and sell it all off. 2 unidentified stuff, whatever. We'll sell it. Goodbye. So we just needed freed up some space. So we'll pop up in the microtransaction tab. We'll take a look at what it offers. So this is the microtransaction spot. You can buy points at different prices. So 50 points is $5. So you're looking at $1 for 10 points is what it goes down to. And then there's all kinds of things you can do. So the newly added feature, which we're not going to worry about. You got account features, which we can then buy. Premium stash tab, you know, just basically more space, which will cost, you know, certain points. We can get 6 extra premium tabs to your shared stash at a discounted price. Premium tabs can have their name and color changed whenever you want. So premium tabs, nothing amazing. We got pets you can buy. We can do special pets that are only available till Halloween's over and accompany you on your travels and will not affect your luck. So like all these pets don't do anything, and they just have a cool little, like, they'll follow you around. Item effects, which will remove the appearance of a piece of headgear, leaving only a bloody stump, so you can change item effects. Obviously, nothing special, nothing that's going to make you more powerful, just item effects. Skill effects, you have animations, so new animations you can buy. Custom stuff, you can spend $1,000. This is cool. If you really want to spend $1,000, you can work with the team and create the art, mechanics, and flavor of a unique item that will be added to the game that'll just be dropped for people. That's cool. If I had the money to blow on it, I would do it. That would be really, really awesome. You can build, you know, up your guild stash and add extra guild slots, and then they'll have a daily deal. So like I said, literally nothing you can buy power with. This is microtransaction free-to-play done perfectly. Now, they're literally asking for just typical stuff that you can do just to support the team. Very, very cool. I like that a whole bunch. I do like it a lot. So, for instance, I wanted to go over the tabs too, but I forgot to check it out. We'll go over them here in a minute once we do some fireballing, killing off some of these enemies, making some room. Go, zombies, go. My zombies are not the smartest things in the world. They kind of... Sometimes they'll be near an enemy and they'll just be coming and they'll just walk over to me. They don't necessarily do anything. So we have a medium life tab flask over here, which we're going to definitely grab, and I can show you some of the stuff that it does. So, these are the flasks. You have 5 flask spots, and they do different things. So, like, a small life flask restores 60 life over 6 seconds, and it consumes 7 of 21 charges when you use it, and it currently has full charges. While my Catalyst medium life flask, which is a rare flask that I got dropped for me, recovers 100 life over 4.3 seconds, so it's much quicker, uses only 1 extra charge comparatively to the small flask, and gives me 50% increased recovery speed, so I recover faster. And then I got this one dropped, which is 100 life over 6.5 seconds, and it's nothing special compared to this, but it's one of the things I'm going to replace one of my other flasks with. So we can go ahead and get rid of this flask and just dump it in my inventory, and we can sell it off. And these flasks gain charges as you attack enemies and kill enemies off. They'll just charge over time. So you'll never have to buy potions. That's not something you have to worry about. They get refilled as you are playing in the game. So all that's not really anything big. And it just works really, really well. I can tell you right now that I'm having a ton of fun with this game. If you were looking for what Diablo should have been, look no further. It has such a Diablo 2 feel. It's so pervasive. The way it looks, the way it plays is very, very Diablo 2. And it's just kind of an updated Diablo 2, which is what I think a lot of people were hoping for. There is a PvP aspect in the game. I just haven't touched it because that's not really what I do. I just like to have the loot grind, the loot fest that is, given with any game like this. And I look forward to seeing how far I can get with my witch. And that is all I care about. This is all I care about. It is a ton of fun. And there's no reason that anybody who likes this kind of game shouldn't be playing it. It is absolutely awesome. This thing, allies move and attack faster. Okay, so looks like the totems buff their allies. Good to know. So we have the map over here. We leveled up my Firestorm, so we're going to go ahead and level it. So it's going to do more damage. It'll cost more mana, but because I have so many skills in the mana tree, I don't have to really worry about mana too much. I can kind of spam a good amount of my spells without having to worry about it. I could switch my wand out for a melee weapon, but I like the distance, the range, while my zombies kind of tank everything up front. I heard, like a lot of pet classes, the pet classes kind of suck really early, really early on, but I hear they get really good later on. But playing in Nemesis mode means I have to deal with a lot of the difficulties of playing, on a very hard difficulty with a class that doesn't necessarily do much for me. So we leveled up. We got a new point. We'll go ahead and level up, and I will continue down this way. Now I am aiming to head down this general direction, which is minion stuff, which is even further. I hear there's like a bunch of good ones down here somewhere. There was one over here, which is Grave Impact. I want to get down here, which is going to require me skipping a whole bunch. Yeah, there's more over here, so I'm working my way this way. But I am on the right side. I'm working my way up a spell critical tree while I head over there. So I'm going to come up to here, grab this, and then shoot down here and come out this way, so I can get some bonuses to my elemental spells, because I do end up using them a lot, and keeping that kind of balance is important to me. Now, God knows I'm probably fucking up hugely by doing what I'm doing, but it's just how I play. So that's how it is. So this is Path of Exile. It is a game that has been, like I said, in loving development for 7 years. It is really, really good. I really think they've done just an excellent job on making sure everything is balanced. Oh God, they're next to that talent. They're next to that totem. So I'm gonna raise some zombies here, just to make sure that they are tanking a bunch. We'll try to just Firestorm over there, and continue throwing fireballs in there from a distance. I kind of want to get to that totem. The totem is firing off lightning, it looks like. Whoa, Kaduku! Kaduku the false god. Interesting. Can you just... He's gonna start throwing lightning at me, I think. But if I can kill him off... Oh god, let's back up. Let's back up. Let's get some more zombies up. We're using up all the skeleton corpses, but this is, again, why I don't use ice spells, because it could completely destroy it. So if this is your kind of game, I mean, this game does not, completely deviate from the formula that made Diablo 2 incredibly successful, and it shouldn't have to. It does exactly what Diablo 2 did, except it adds some modern twists to it, and adds a couple of unique ways to level up along the way with the form of the socketed items, the gems, and the talent system. It's a whole bunch of fun. I couldn't be happier with the game. And the fact that it's 100% friggin' free, there's no reason you shouldn't go try this out. I could say, well, if it's not your thing, don't bother buying it. No, there is no reason you shouldn't at least give it a shot. Give the game a shot, give the developers some, a chance to show you what they did, and have fun doing it, because the game is so much fun. So thank you guys for swinging by. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit like and you subscribe to join the Horde. As always, this has been your Indie Snapshot with Mathis, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.